Part 65. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 641. After a wave of growth in strength, everyone felt confident about the next action. Especially Luna and others. They originally thought that this time the copy was extremely difficult. With the current strength of their sacred tree masters, even if they reached the top level, it would be extremely difficult to carry out such land reclamation operations. But what I didn't expect was that, the journey would go so smoothly, which was far beyond everyone's expectations. This is all thanks to the members of the Akatsuki organization. Their team is not only extremely powerful, but also has the world of the sacred tree. In everyone's eyes, it can be regarded as the top team discipline. Moreover, the mysterious president, the divine tree master who is suspected to be a god-level powerhouse, has never made a move. At present, it seems that even if Xiao Chang'an and others enter the god-level ruins and reach such a dangerous place, they have no intention of asking the president for support. It is enough to show that the current strength of everyone is still no problem through the exploration of this copy. What's more, they don't know how much they have gained along the way, and their strength is completely different from what it was before. With so many dungeon-generated props, not only did everyone get legendary-level suits, but they also got demigod-level weapons. This is already the most high-end weapon known to everyone in the world of the Divine Tree. No. That mysterious president may have even more powerful equipment and weapons. But to everyone, there is no difference. The mysterious president of the Akatsuki organization can be regarded as an existence that is transcendent and ranks above all living beings. He is too lazy to do anything to the group of sacred tree masters in the sacred tree world, and will not interfere with the actions between their guilds. So, we have demigod-level weapons. They are confident in their own strength and can stand alone in the world of the sacred tree. This also gave everyone full confidence. The moon god holds a crystal ball in his hand, and his eyes reflect the starlight of the moon, filled with brilliance. She, who was usually quiet, couldn't help but the joy flashed in her eyes at this moment, and she was overjoyed with this harvest. I may be among the top 500 people in the gray world. Dong Huang's majestic face also showed expressions of surprise one after another at this moment, and he sighed. I had doubts about President Yu Xian's decision before, but I didn't have enough structure. I didn't expect that the president would actually know such a group of people. Yan Lingji secretly waved her small fist and said in her heart, I thought that the ability of the astromancer could reach its peak, but now it seems that I am shallow. It turns out that magic is so powerful. In the world of the sacred tree, all magic can be attributed to the god level. It seems that I have to study magic well next and not fall behind others. Everyone was full of confidence and used their own methods. They continued to follow Xiao Chang'an's formation and quickly escaped here, sweeping everything around. Subsequently, the team split up and found a commercial street in the center of the country. Judging from the past buildings here, this place was once quite prosperous. The roads here extend in all directions and the transportation is extremely convenient. Beside the street, there are all kinds of shops, with all kinds of precious magic materials listed in the cupboards. Xiao Chang'an's eyes lit up. Here, there are great opportunities to explore. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 642. Xiao Chang'an's eyes circled around this place, scanning the surroundings, and based on the experience gained from previous exploration of the dungeon, he immediately made a judgment. He couldn't help but smile and said, Everyone. In this country full of divine opportunities, if I guess correctly, this should be a very prosperous trade center. If this place had once given birth to a magical civilization, then there would have been countless magical trading items, trading in this place with the most prosperous commerce. Generally speaking, this kind of place also has the most treasures. Brothers, let's work separately first. If we find something, we'll inform each other, and then we can gather everyone's strength to explore. Although the treasures here are very rich, you must be careful, because the magical intelligence born nearby, and even various dungeon monsters, may be more powerful. If you are not careful, your life may be in danger. It's better to be safe. Everyone nodded immediately after hearing this. For them, the command of the Xiao organization was no problem at all. They were also willing to follow the organization's arrangements and take action. Soon, everyone was immediately divided into several groups. Among them, the Akatsuki organization is dominated by two people, each leading a part of the guild members to explore. After all, a team must have experts in charge to ensure the safety of the team. This move has made the Dark Knight Alliance, Star Pavilion, and all the magicians in the Wizarding Academy were extremely moved. Don't underestimate this trivial decision. However, if the group actions are divided by organization, the number of people in guilds such as the Dark Knight Alliance is obviously much greater. If only if Anya and Yusuanji lead their respective Dark Knight Alliance and Star Pavilion to explore, the efficiency of the copy will be much lower. Although no one said it explicitly, it can also be seen that Anya and Yusuanji have magical attainments. It is definitely not as good as the Akatsuki organization and others. If they are grouped like that, the quality of the separated groups will be much worse. Either there are too many people, or some groups lack the protection of experts. Even if there is a certain amount of manpower, if in the process of exploring the dungeon, if you encounter a powerful monster, the probability of death will be greatly increased compared to other groups. This division method of the Xiao organization ensures that each group has a master to take charge of the task. Reasonable and fair in the true sense. Luna and others couldn't help but sigh. He is worthy of being the top master in the world of the sacred tree. With this structure and broad mind, he is far from the group of people who think about you and me all day long. Various third-rate guilds that think about how to deceive people can compare. Then, under the leadership of the experts, everyone in the Xiao organization immediately began to explore this dungeon. Soon, Xiao Chang'an's guild, the good news immediately came: we found a precious magic material store here. There are a large amount of magic materials inside, the energy fluctuations contained are infinitely close to the god level, and there are extremely rich treasures, etc. We are under enemy attack. This magic material shop has a guard system. We need to defeat the guards here. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 643. Hearing Xiao Chang'an's report, other groups also stopped their actions. Come to this magic material shop. Help Xiao Chang'an and deal with the enemies here together. Soon, streams of light traveled through this ancient city and converged on the coordinates sent by Xiao Chang'an. Boom! Boom! Terrifying explosions came one after another from inside the store. Fire shot into the sky. Everyone went to take a look, and immediately discovered it. Dozens of them were covered with ink-colored magic armor, and their eyes glowed with a ghostly light. Their postures resembled those of samurai, as if they were armored knights made of high-end technology. They held a sword with magical light in both hands, and their whole bodies exuded an aura close to that of a demigod. If it were just such an enemy, Xiao Chang'an could easily defeat it with his own strength. But, the nearby guard system is connected to a special formation, the anti-magic formation. These guard knights covered in the formation can gain extremely powerful resistance to magic. Xiao Chang'an's magic bombarded them, but it couldn't have any effect. Certainly. Nor can they use other melee methods such as swordsmanship to deal with these monsters. Because, the magic field of this copy is always like a barrier, covering every place. Therefore, Xiao Chang'an's magic cannot cause any harm to a building of this level, including other abilities. The bug is almost stuck. Is it a spiritual method? These monsters do not have spiritual consciousness, they just automatically trigger the rules of action based on the rules here. The spiritual methods in the Grey World are basically used to deal with the sacred tree masters, or the perception system is used to detect intelligence. There are almost no monsters to deal with in the Grey Realm. Even if there is, it is only in very few cases that it can play an unexpected role. Dumble and others join the battle. Xiao Chang'an's pressure also felt a lot more relaxed. Although this guard has a demigod level attack power, he can't withstand such continuous attacks. Demigod level is no joke. What is even more annoying is that these monsters cannot be killed. The real solution to any battle is to find the enemy's fatal weakness and then kill it with one strike, so that it can end directly. But, if the monster can't be killed, it will be a headache. Therefore, Xiao Chang'an can only be forced to defend. In this case, the pressure is completely self-evident. Magical barrier. Denbu waved the wand in his hand. A huge goose yellow light curtain suddenly appeared around everyone within a radius of 100 meters, protecting this place. When the guarding knight launched a charge, he hit the goose yellow light curtain with his head. The shield, dizzy, took a few steps back before stabilizing the body. When they launched the charge again, it was the same ending. The goose yellow shield summoned by Denbu had extremely powerful. The defense power can even rebound. When other people here saw this magic, their eyes were full of color, and they felt the charm of a top magician. As expected of Dumble, the defensive magic released is so powerful. The same thought came to everyone's mind. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 644. Bang bang bang. Violent knocking sounds continued to be heard outside the shield summoned by Denbu. The guarding knights here, even though they would be hurt by the shield's rebound, charged without hesitation. It was as if he didn't know the pain at all. After all, these guard knights are all lifeless, they only know how to act according to the rules, and are just products created by magic. There is no real consciousness. The only thing they have to do is to eliminate the invaders. As for the pain, of course it's impossible to control. It seems that the number of intruders has increased. Click, click, click. On both sides of the warehouse, doors made of crystal magic material slowly opened. From the outside, you can see that the material of these gates is quite unusual and can resist demigod level attacks. If someone were to break into this place, just breaking the door would be extremely difficult. Even looking at the world of divine trees, there are not many divine tree masters who can open the door of this warehouse. Figures of guarding knights gradually walked out from the door. They all wore silver-white armor. This armor is endowed with powerful runes. Has extremely strong anti-magic power. The holy swords they held in their hands, when they waved them casually, there was a full blow from the Dharma Saint. After realizing that the number of intruders was increasing, the guard system's judgment was triggered. This led them to believe that they needed to send more guard knights to deal with the invaders. More guard knights continued to emerge from the warehouse, and the number suddenly reached nearly 1,000. Although there are monsters in the Grey World that are far larger than this, and there are countless copies to kill, but you must know that these guard knights have the attack power of the Dharma Saint. Moreover, they are almost invincible. Such a terrifying enemy is already difficult enough for an ordinary divine tree master, or even a top guild team, to deal with just one enemy. Not to mention, the number of enemies must be multiplied by 1,000. It's simply shocking. If an ordinary sacred tree master faced this scene, he would probably feel despair and just sit there and wait for death. Even if he could barely survive the stormy wave of attacks, he would still be unable to cause any harm to the enemies here. This is the most desperate thing. Fortunately, Denbu's shield is as solid as a rock. Facing the stormy offensive, he remained unmoved and extremely strong. However, everyone knows the current situation, but they can't say how good it is. There are so many guarding knights, it will be difficult for anyone here to break out of Dumble's defensive barrier. Xiao Chang'an pondered for a moment, and then asked Senior Deng Buletin, what should we do about the current situation? Long Zijian also showed a sad face. It is hard to imagine that he, who is suffering from the second grade of middle school, would still be so worried. Yeah, it's really hard to deal with so many enemies, we can't just stand here and wait for death, right? The atmosphere on the field became extremely solemn. Everyone's eyes were on Deng Bu. They know that to solve the current problem, they must rely on this powerful magician to find a way to break through. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 645. Deng Buletin looked around the surrounding situation with deep eyes, and then said calmly. If we want to directly deal with these guarding knights, I'm afraid we must use the power of the magic circle. As soon as these words came out, everyone's hearts trembled slightly. The power of the magic circle was actually going to be used. That is the attack power of the magic god level. Could it be that, this moment, is coming? But immediately afterwards, Dumble added, however, in my opinion, the guarding knights here have extremely high resistance to magic. Unless they have attack power at the level of a magic god, they cannot be harmed. However, with such a large number of knights surrounding us, it is difficult to say whether there will be any other hidden guard systems nearby. If we use the magic circle at this time to use up our trump cards instantly and use all the magic power without even thinking about it, then we will really have no resistance to other enemies in the copy next. This judgment made everyone in the Akatsuki organization feel excited, also cooled down slightly. Thinking about it carefully, Dumbu's judgment is indeed correct. There are so many guarding knights here, there might be some hiding in the dark. It's too early to directly enlarge the move. Moreover, there is no guarantee that all enemies will be defeated. If you encounter other opponents next, without any magic power, they will be no different from lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Senior Deng Buletin. So what should we do now? Xiao Chang'an said with a serious tone. Yes. Anil also frowned. The current situation can be said to be getting more and more difficult. Deng Buletin smiled, turned his attention to Baiyu, and said, however, fortunately we have Miss Bai, so we can find another way to break through. Baiyu was slightly stunned when Deng Buletin called her name, and a trace of doubt appeared on her handsome face. Denbu nodded, and then explained, according to my judgment, we do not need to directly deal with the guarding knights here. We can first destroy the system here. In this way, the magic resistance of each guard knight connected to the barrier formation will completely disappear. With the original attributes of these monsters, if they cannot withstand a demigod level attack, they will be mercilessly blown to pieces. Therefore, we only need to destroy the guard system here and we can successfully capture it. As soon as Denbu finished speaking, everyone's eyes lit up. That's right. Most of the magic resistance of the guard knights is not simply provided by the equipment attributes of the armor. There is no equipment that is so awesome, able to resist the attack power is below the magic god level. Even if it is available, can it be mass-produced for a group of guard knights? This is wrong no matter how you think about it. The reason why the guard knight's defense is so awesome is because there is a barrier magic circle system nearby. The armor is nothing more than a receiver. It receives the defensive power given by the barrier. Therefore, as long as the barrier is destroyed, there is no doubt that a solution has been found. After everyone saw the hope, she became extremely excited. Baiyu opened her eyes instantly and looked around the system. Through that special vision, very quickly, Baiyu found the loophole of the system. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 646. Under Bayu's special perspective, she quickly discovered the loopholes in the system. All the structures fell into her eyes with great clarity. Cooperate with the magic information obtained before. Naturally, we can also make judgments about the guard system here. After all, it's all related to the principles of magic. Based on the core principles and the goals of the guard system, we can deduce the key role of each part in turn, and we can find the right path. Use this to destroy the operation of the entire guard system. Bayu took a deep breath, and then quickly explained the core structure of the guard system to everyone. We need to break through from point A. There is a loophole in the defense system. Only a small amount of magic power is needed to achieve a complete breakthrough. Besides, after entering the core hall of the guard system through Pipe C, there are still some guards there. We need to use some of our magic power to imprison all these guards. Then, destroy the last core hub. As long as this hub is destroyed by us, we can directly turn off the guard system here. The defense system of the hub is also very strong, but it seems to form a barrier in the form of some kind of magic seal. We may be able to interfere with the unfolding of the curse seal, temporarily disable the hub's defense system, and directly destroy the core energy within it. Thus, this mission will be completed perfectly. Bayu's analysis was eloquently explained, and every detail was explained extremely clearly. Everyone sighed silently in their hearts. It is indeed Bayu. Although this place is the realm of magic. But from her wide-eyed perspective, next, he was able to judge the operation of each part so quickly. Thus, he found the solution corresponding to the copy of the guide. The core members of the Wizard Academy, the Dark Knight Alliance and the Star Pavilion saw the judgment possessed by this girl, and secretly felt in their hearts, I am so impressed. I have to say, Bayu's judgment ability has completely impressed everyone. Good. Now that we've found the strategy, then, just act according to what Bayu said. Xiao Chang'an's eyes lit up and he said immediately. After having Bayu's information, everyone here also has a new understanding of the guard system of this magic material store. Fortunately, I didn't tell them at the beginning like that. Directly use the power of the magic god level to sweep away all the guards here. Because, even after Deng Buledin and others found the magic material store, the proficiency of the guards here suddenly increased, as if they had turned into thousands of troops, and they with the Akatsuki organization and others are all surrounding them. However, the number of guards here is far from all, and there are more guards who have not come out. Therefore, if at this time, the power of the Dharma God level is rashly used, everyone will if the blue bars all drop below 0, then. When we enter the core hub of the hall at the back, and some of the guarding knights come out of the door. By then, everyone will probably be dumbfounded. Fortunately, with Bayu's eyes as a basis for judgment, he has seen the entirety of this defense system. Otherwise, he would really have made a mistake in decision-making. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 647. After gaining Bayu's vision, Xiao Chang'an immediately gave instructions. We will first lure all the surrounding guards away, and then according to our actions, we will destroy the core hub of this guard system. At this moment, Denbu shook his head and said, no, actually it doesn't need to be that troublesome, just use my magic. The next second, he waved the walnut wand in his hand. At that moment, the surging magic power swept all directions. The gravity of the surrounding space changed drastically. All the guarding knights flew into the sky like a tide. It spread towards both sides like a bunch of dust. It was like a bunch of dust being swept away by a broom. In the face of absolute power, there was no stopping ability at all. This scene, everyone was slightly startled. Is this Dumble's magic? Damn it, after possessing a magical wand at the level of a magic god, you are completely different. The power is too powerful. It turns out that this shield is just a random magic created by Senior Dumbledore, and it has not yet been used in any real way. That's it? If Denbuletin really used his true form, wouldn't he have shown the power of a magic god level? It is equivalent to us joining forces and using the power of the Dharma god formation. Everyone sighed with emotion. Looking at the magic performed by Denbu, they were all shocked by the magnificent picture in front of them. Denbuletin smiled slightly and said, I have swept away the scene. Everyone, we can go immediately, destroy the core hub, and contact the guard system here. Everyone here nodded when they heard the words. Then, Onel's whole body turned into a beam of lightning, and instantly rushed to the front of everyone and started to open the way. The barrier made of unknown magic materials, under the surge of magic power, next, amidst a roar, it was suddenly opened. A corridor appeared in front. This is the road to the core hub. At this moment, Bayou opened his mouth and reminded, be careful, everyone, this corridor contains a lot of magic mechanism formation. The formations inside contain extremely terrifying magic power, all of which are triggered in the form of spells. The power cannot be underestimated. We must be more careful when we pass through here later. Since this store is a store of magic materials, all magic formations use the core hub to provide magic power, and then cooperate with the formation of the magic formation. One of the cores of the magic formation is the incantation. What the magician left behind the incantation contains the password to unlock the secrets of magic. Without the incantation, the magic circle will lose its core power. The moment everyone in the Akatsuki organization stepped into this corridor, the surrounding void was filled with endless gold. The mantras emerged and turned into the mysteries of laws that filled the sky. Several cracks appeared in the entire space, countless turbulent currents surged, and the murderous intention was fully displayed. It seemed that all the intruders would be killed in an instant. Everyone witnessed the scene in front of them. A solemn look appeared on his face. Because this level of attack power is far beyond what the Dharma Saint can bear. It is infinitely powerful. If it falls on the body of the Divine Tree Master, it will be unbearable damage. At this moment, Dumble's tall figure suddenly stood in front of the team, raising the walnut wand in his hand. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 648. The next moment, endless light of law radiated from Dumble's wand. It instantly enveloped the entire corridor. The arcane runes nearby seemed to be violently affected. In the void, it trembled several times and gradually began to dissipate. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but condense. The aura of the law runes started to dissipate just like that. This indicates that this huge magic system, whether it is formations or various systems, is beginning to fall apart. Everyone's faces were filled with disbelief. If the guess is correct, when the spell is completely disturbed, all the magic mechanisms will fail in an instant. That's it? But, this is too simple. The next second. Click. Click. There was a burst of broken sounds in this corridor. Many magic mechanisms fell from the wall. Magical creatures composed of various stone sculptures and oil paintings seemed to have lost their lives at this time, falling off the walls one after another, or completely bursting into ruins. What everyone can be sure of is, all the magical creatures in this corridor have definitely been eliminated. And, it was solved very thoroughly. How long did it take? How many methods were used? How much magic power did this cost? Unexpectedly, he solved all the last layers of traps in this guard system. After a long time, someone finally couldn't restrain his doubts and asked a question. Senior Denbuletin, I really want to know, how did you solve all the magic mechanisms in this corridor? From my point of view, this seems to be just an interference spell that interferes with the spell, but it explodes with such powerful power, which is really hard for me to imagine. Hearing the question raised by this classmate, a smile appeared on Deng Buletin's face, and he said lightly, "It's actually very simple. It's actually not difficult. You only need to find the principles of these mantras, and then use interference spells to destroy them and disrupt the order of the mantras. In this way, the magic runes of the spell series can be easily solved." Denbu said lightly the reason why he could do all this. However, when everyone in the Xiao organization and other members of the team who were proficient in magic heard these words, they felt extremely unbelievable. "Don't look at it," Denbu put it simply. However, to be able to see the order of the spells at a glance and come up with a disruptive spell that can be dealt with in such a short period of time is definitely something that very few magicians can achieve. Maybe even the Dharma god would find it difficult to do this. You know, this ancient ruins full of Dharma gods inheritance is full of Dharma gods aura everywhere. Naturally, it is inevitable to give birth to Dharma god level powerhouses, right? However, a family of magic, how could the material shop and the guard system set up not guard against the god of magic? However, the magical attainments shown by Denbu were so terrifying that even the god of magic may not be able to achieve such a high level of understanding. It seems simple operation actually requires extremely terrifying magical attainments and understanding, plus talent, to do all this. It has exceeded everyone's expectations. I have to say. After Denbu held the walnut wand, he seemed to have unlocked all his potential and become a truly powerful magician. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 649. The magical attainments displayed by Deng Buletin instantly impressed everyone. Everyone couldn't help but sigh with emotion from the bottom of their hearts. As expected of Dumble, in the field of understanding magic, he has reached a level beyond our comprehension. I didn't expect that the spell formation to crack the guard system would be so simple for such a top magician. It was easier than eating and drinking. I'm so envious. When will I have the magical attainments of Senior Denbu? No, to be precise, it's about 1/10, and I'll be satisfied for the rest of my life. 1/10. My goals in this life are not high. As long as I have 1/10,000th, I feel that I will be worthy of being in the field of magic in this life. So strong. Just by glancing at it, you can actually see the arrangement rules of wrinkles. What kind of realm has this reached? Ha ha ha, anyway, it is already beyond my comprehension. The Dharma saint cannot understand Ad 1. The half-step Dharma god cannot understand Ad 1. Dumble, YDDS. Amidst the discussion, everyone's pace did not stop because of this, and they quickly passed through this long and narrow corridor. The scene in front of them suddenly became clear. What appeared in front of everyone was an extremely open square. In the center, a huge sky-reaching crystal, sealed with a sealed crystal. It looks like a treasure left behind by the gods. It is shocking. It is unimaginable. Just such a crystal gem seems to form a landscape. Magnificent and spectacular. Bai Yu opened her eyes fell on this huge crystal stone, and she slowly said, "Everyone, this crystal stone contains extremely huge energy. If the energy contained in it explodes in an instant, even the Dharma god will be unable to stop it. And this crystal is the crystal that provides core energy to the guard system. If we want to destroy the guard system here, we must start with this crystal. But the inside of this crystal seems to have magical intelligence sealed inside. If we go to destroy it, it may cause the magical intelligence to cause an abnormal state, sense danger, and launch an attack on us. According to my judgment, if we provoke this magical intelligence, it will also pose a great threat to us. As soon as these words came out, everyone present looked at Crystal, and their expressions changed instantly. He actually has the power to threaten the god of law. Just a magic materials store has such a powerful foundation. My god, what kind of country is this? It's so incredible. Along the way, I also passed by many shops. To be honest, the scale of this magic materials shop is not very large. It can only be said to be of medium scale, but it already contains the power that can threaten the god of magic. It seems, we have underestimated this ruins too much. I am afraid that Dharma God is everywhere here. If we cannot reach the power of Dharma God, then it is best not to explore the secrets here in depth, otherwise there will be great consequences. The danger. Everyone showed shocked expressions. Xiao Chang'an frowned at this time, looked at Deng Buletin and asked, "Senior, what should we do with this crystal?" Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 650. Not complicated. We interfere with the arrangement of the spell combinations. In this way, the energy transmission of this crystal hub can be easily solved. As long as the energy transmission is broken, this energy crystal will not be able to continuously supply energy. The surrounding defense systems will fail immediately. By the time. Please help me put this huge crystal away immediately. In this way, all the treasures in the entire magic materials store will fall into our hands. Denbu pondered for a moment, and then briefly explained his plan. However, when the seemingly simple steps fell into everyone's ears, everyone couldn't help but feel stunned and unbelievable. It's actually another way of interfering with the arrangement and combination of spells. Denbu is simply a god. Being able to do this repeatedly is not that simple. It can only be said that Denbu's magical attainments have far exceeded everyone's imagination. Got it? Good. Now Thutso, let's not talk much. Let's get started. Liang Zijian said with excitement on his face. Hearing that he could get the entire magic materials store, wait, it seems that it also includes a crystal that is comparable to the level of a magic god? It's so exciting. The next second, Denbu started slowly chanting magic. The surrounding incantations suddenly appeared errors during a burst of void shaking, and the entire order suddenly became chaotic. The brilliance of endless magic mysteries shrouded the center of the entire hall. At this moment, the shadow of a young man suddenly appeared on the light screen. His eyes were indifferent, and his expression was as if he had lived for thousands of years. He scanned the people present and said coldly, "Who are you? You dare to offend me and want to gain my power? You are simply seeking death." As soon as these words came out, everyone immediately looked at the figure appearing in the light curtain. If you guessed it correctly, should this be the magical intelligence born from this crystal? Yu Suanji rubbed his chin and murmured. This guy looks so pretentious, as if he needs a beating. Liang Zijian unfrowned and couldn't help but pull out the sword in his hand, but thinking that the sword in this copy seemed useless, this kind of thing could only be left to Deng Buletin and the others. However, Deng Buletin didn't even think about it. Too lazy to pay attention to the magical intelligence, he directly used the interference spell to disrupt the arrangement and combination of all the spells. The next second, the crystal immediately cut off all the hubs. It turned into a bare crystal. In addition to the vast energy except, there is nothing else. How can it be? The magic spirit that transformed into a young man couldn't help but widen his eyes and looked around everything around him in disbelief. When his eyes fell on Denbu, he was full of fear. You are just a false god, but you can actually arrange and combine with interference spells. Impossible. This must be fake. This face has an arrogant magic power and wisdom. At this moment, it is as if it is panicked, with a look of fear, as if it is a ghost in broad daylight. Seeing this scene, everyone's faces are filled with panic. Can't help but smile. Ha ha ha. Is this all magic power and intelligence? It's so funny. You are so ignorant.